Teresa Cowart with Remax Accent, another episode of Teresa on the Town. And today, we're starting out at Bar Bubbly with Chris Modlin, and he is the owner of History, Haunts, and Hops.
So I've been giving tours here in Savannah since 2015, and I always wanted to do a walking tour, and I wanted to do a nighttime tour just because there's so many cool stories about Savannah. And so we came up with a drinking tour. I hate to call it a pub crawl because we don't hang out in the pubs a whole lot. Okay,
It's much more refined than that.
Yes, much more. We like to spend time telling stories. So my tour is a little different than other traditional pub crawls. When you go on other pub crawls, everybody has to buy their drinks individually. This tour, all your drinks are included. So when you buy your ticket, your drinks are included. So we come in, we get our drinks, and we go. So we don't have to wait. It adds more to the tour. We're allowed to, gives us more time to spend on the squares. And our tour is a little different as we don't dress up in pirates outfits, wear top hats. What you see is what you get on this tour. It's very laid back, very genuine, and it's we don't take ourselves real serious on this tour. There's a lot of humor added in, so it's a lot of fun, and that's what a drinking tour is supposed to be, a lot of fun. And it's more history focused too, so we do delve a lot into the history of Savannah. This is the first square. It's the largest square, and back in the day it was the most popular square. We started with 4. They all kind of took on a life of their own. And this is where people would gather. If they wanted to make a big announcement, they would do it right here. The Declaration of Independence was read.
So the hear ye.
Yes.
Here.
Yeah, Declaration of Independence was read for the first time publicly in Georgia, right here on Johnson Square. John Wesley delivered his first sermon in Georgia, here on Johnson Square, 1736. When Abraham Lincoln was elected president, there was a huge protest on this square. And then a couple summers ago, when we had all our protests, guess where they came? Right here to this square. So even to this day, if you want to get out, voice your concerns, discuss the world, you come right here to Johnson Square. Also, very, very haunted square. It's named after Robert Johnson, Royal Governor of South Carolina. One of the most important people from the Revolutionary War is buried on this square. Nathaniel Greene, that's his monument right here.
Right. We all learned about him in history class.
That's right. But on this square, you will sometimes late at night, if you walk through this square, you might hear a little girl giggling, laughing, running around, and you look for her, you can't find her. That's little Gracie Watson, okay? This is her square. So back in the day, there was a beautiful hotel on the corner right here where the Regions Bank is at, was the Pulaski Hotel. Beautiful hotel, and it was run by J.W., his wife, and they had a little girl in 1883 named Gracie Watson. She'd become the darling of Savannah. She loved this square. She would play on this square every day. She brought her toys and trinkets out here. She loved her little toys. When she saw somebody coming through this square she didn't recognize, she'd run up to them and go, "Welcome to Savannah. Hope you have a wonderful day." She would sit by the front door of the Pulaski Hotel, and she would welcome everybody as they came into the hotel. They had these big, beautiful parties. The who's who of Savannah, Charleston, the surrounding areas would come to these parties, and there was a guarantee during the night she was going to get on top of that piano. She was going to do some songs, some dances. She was going to entertain everyone. She was like a little Shirley Temple.
I like it.
She was the darling of Savannah. Well, in 1889, at the age of 6, she got sick, and it progressed, and it progressed. And 2 days before Easter, 1889, she passed away of pneumonia. The city was distraught, but nobody took it worse than her father, J.W. But he had just met a guy at one of those parties named John Walls. John Walls became a famous sculptor, and he went to John Walls with a picture of his daughter. He said, "Hey, I've been hearing about the great work you're doing, and I want you to do a sculpting of my daughter. I want to put it by her graveside. I want to remember her how she was before she passed away." John Walls did one of his most famous sculptings. It's out in Bonaventure Cemetery. It's the most visited gravesite in Savannah. It's little Gracie Watson's gravesite. People go out there, even to this day, leave little toys and trinkets by her gravesite. But this is where she hangs out. And there's some people that go through the square and swear they hear a little girl fussing and crying. And that's also little Gracie Watson. They think she's lonely. Her parents left her here. They moved back to Massachusetts. A lot of these spirits that we talk about are stuck, or they're looking for somebody, or they're lonely, and they think she's out here waiting for her family to come back and meet her. So I encourage everybody that takes my tour, come walk through the square late at night. If you don't hear a little girl giggling, laughing, you might hear her fussing and crying, but you will feel something. There is a presence here. There's an energy when you walk through this square late at night. Doing this tour for 2 years has really, you see a lot, and it really changes how you feel about things, and I am no longer at all a skeptic.
Me too,
so.
like showing houses down here is the same thing.
Yes.
Like I've been in some houses that I couldn't wait to get out of.
Yeah.
And then I've been in houses where the ghost had a name and the people told me it had a name.
Yeah.
You just kind of talk to the ghost as you're walking through.
Yeah.
So
that's one of the part of the putting a little humor into the tour. Is I didn't want it to be hokey and real serious, and I wanted it to be kind of a skeptics tour, where they could come and enjoy it as well, and and
you
everybody
tell the stories, and we choose whether or not we want.
That's
to
right. I tell
not.
people at the beginning, I'm like, you can take these stories and do what you want with them.
Yeah.
Okay. These stories happen in Savannah. They're folklore, been passed down through the years, but enjoy it. And I always tell people, I know there's always a few skeptics. Y'all have a good time.
Right.
Just enjoy the stories. Yeah, that's what you're here to do, is have a good time. But yeah, I love giving this tour. It's so much fun. I mean, where else can you, tell stories and drink beer and get paid for it? I mean, come on.
Not law enforcement.
No, not in law enforcement. No.
Well, thank you again. I appreciate it.